Welcome back to Razmovsar TV. Today I'm going to introduce a topic which is very interesting, and I started to read extensively about this topic because this topic is about cognitive warfare. Many colleagues in the area of military history, military and then start to see later on and to look if and whether cognitive warfare is a modern concept or if it is a concept which had been used already in history. So what they understand, we know that, for example, we have Air Force and aerospace as one field where armies fight, you know, in the air and space. Then we have the Navy, and where you fight on the ocean and water and seas. And then we have ground forces, where soldiers and ground forces fight on land, on the land, infantry and so on. But what is then cognitive warfare? Cognitive warfare is applied and used to destabilize adversaries, as Morale our colleagues say in 2023. Lots of the publications are new, or either from 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 2024, I mean. So cognitive warfare is used to destabilize enemies or make them destroy themselves from within or from the inside. The concept of modern cognitive warfare actually is not like a modern conception from the last years, but it was already, or it emerged during the Cold War. The idea was very simple back then. How can we, let's say, contain our enemy or destroy our enemy without having a destructive open war? So back then, the whole idea of the Cold War was to avoid another destructive open war between superpowers. In order to do so, they started proxy conflicts. We know that superpowers or regional powers have proxy wars and proxy conflicts here and there. So to avoid their direct confrontation, and then they try to destroy their proxies or proxies of each other. So, and once a superpower, the more they lose the proxies and the other one have proxies, the weaker they get. So they started proxy conflicts, supporting and opposing small countries or armed groups against each other, as I mentioned, and as our colleagues Morale says. So cognitive warfare, what does it mean? It contains, the whole concept includes methods and techniques that aim and target. So it includes methods and techniques targeting the way we think, humans think, act and react, and the way we make decisions. If they influence them, it leads to new ways to wage war on cognition, or cognitive warfare, as our colleagues Adlakha-Hutcheon and others say. So it is cognitive warfare is finding new ways to wage war on cognition, cognitive warfare. Repeat, it's important. On the other hand, or similarly, cognitive warfare includes and has technology-enabled tactics, and techniques to influence human decision-making processes at different levels, meaning at individual and collective levels. The change of human behavior to align with an adversary's strategic goals and objectives and means to defend and to safeguard and secure the cognitive battle space. We are dealing with definitions today. Later on, I'm going to compare it more about applications and tools and also the history. So cognitive warfare is not restricted to and limited to military operations, but it targets a broad range of audiences, meaning, and that's very important, cognitive warfare is used also to influence masses of people. I think that those of you who are interested in works of Chomsky and Herman, or Professor Zinn, Professor Chomsky and Herman and others, who described in their books about the propaganda model, so we can possibly come and see that the application of it in today's and the modern world. So the cognitive warfare needs to consider trust and ethics. Please take a look at it. You know that I teach intercultural management and cross-cultural leadership and ethics at two leading universities here in Germany. So cognitive warfare also needs to consider trust and ethics as both potential targets of the adversary and as a means to increase resilience. If you come and look at why trust, each audience or each inhabitants of a country, citizens of a country need to have trust, of course, in the system, at least the majority of them, and also ethics. You know that we can say and put in question the ethics of the adversary, and there are many methods to do that. I will come back to them, or we'll move to that area later in following videos. So cognitive warfare includes controlling others' mental states and behaviors by manipulating environmental stimuli. As Hong and Hong said, I repeat, cognitive warfare includes methods, and these methods are used to control others' mental states and behaviors by manipulating environmental stimuli. So it represents a significant and ever-evolving issue in global conflict and security. Interestingly, I think here in this Adlakha-Hutcheon and colleagues say that cognitive warfare for them is an activity where the human mind becomes the battlefield. And the goal is to exploit facets of cognition, to disrupt, to undermine, influence, or modify human decision-making or decision-making processes, and to wage a war on what an enemy community thinks, loves, or believes in by changing or altering its representation of reality. This is exactly what we meant. I think if you go and read the book, different books written on the media, the role and media of shaping and manufacturing consent, an agreement, if we want to use what Chomsky and Herman said. So we go in that line, but we look at it from the other side. Now, those colleagues in academia who have been writing about the role of the media or mass media, and now the social media, the way they are used, on what an enemy community thinks, right? So we just change the side. You know, if you run your own country, right, you try to influence, right, let's put it that way, by using the media consciously, subconsciously, directly or indirectly. Here we just change the side. In this case, you wage a war on what an enemy community thinks, loves, or believes in by changing its representation of reality. Cognitive warfare methods have gained new appeal potential and momentum as they can be developed and almost simultaneously applied in tandem with other methods of warfare. What is the main target of cognitive warfare? Chitman et al. States that the main target of cognitive warfare, the main target, the main goal, is to create cognitive emotional conflict. This happens by influencing a target population's thoughts and values using technical means and information. As a target, human capital is a weak point in a nation's defense, especially for nations that are highly connected and based on open systems, as Chitman et al. Say. You might come and say, okay, especially, I'm not, particularly, I'm not so sure about that. I think this can be applied in everywhere. It can be also applied, if you just, have big budgets and you can have different media and just start broadcast on a smaller nation, you will have the same effects, I'm sure. And we know that, of course. So the brain's tendency to accept disinformation exposes a risk that affects a nation's defense and its broader society. Cognitive warfare. There are different or various operations against the human mind. Target both individual and collective cognition, decision making, again, as I said before. But look at this, please. As Morel and colleagues say, it can be carried out against populations, soldiers, experts, engineers, technicians, groups, or minorities of opinion. Please take a look at it again. Minorities of opinion, or ethnic minorities, or religious minorities, right? You see, we know that. Companies, communities, decision makers, political, economic, religious, academic figures, academic leaders. To be honest, I have known that for years, and in discussions with my colleagues like Dr. Farouk and many others, we have been discussing it extensively, or military leaders. And examples are abound. But let us just concentrate on definition today. So cognitive warfare shows and represents the convergence of a wide range of advanced technologies along with human factors and systems. What do we have here? We have artificial intelligence, AI, we have machine learning, ML, we have information communication technologies, ICT, we have neuroscience, we have biotechnology, and human enhancement. So some tools which were used: influencing elections, this is a serious threat, as you know, cyber attacks, another serious threat, and propaganda and media. Different examples of actions that could be considered as cognitive warfare. For example, cognitive warfare launched by cyber tools as part of a strategy, using different tools, various tools, with a broader goal of destabilization, contacting key individuals directly as an intimidation tactic. There are many examples of them, unfortunately. Cognitive warfare launched on social media, and we know that social media is directly affected by it. Another example often used to describe cognitive warfare is the Havana syndrome, a cognitive attack launched using targeted nano or biotechnological tools, to induce fear for the key individuals and cloud their judgment, as Morel and colleagues say. Different examples of actions that could be considered as cognitive warfare, right? So as we said that here before, so it was a repetition and close concepts to cognitive warfare. They're not directly cognitive warfare, but I'm going to explain them as Morel and et al. Said. Later on in follow-up videos, we're going to go back and make more detailed comparisons if you wish. So one is information warfare or information operations, an operation conducted to gain an informational advantage over your enemy, your opponent. It focuses on information, its manipulation, its flow, the way it is protected or stolen, and the way it is used. Bernal and colleagues argue that cognitive warfare is the fight to control or change or alter the way people react to information we had it before from other sources. Intelligence, on the other hand, is a process of knowledge construction. Unlike information warfare, please take a look at that carefully. Cognitive warfare does not concentrate on tactical battlefield information, but also acts on information for the general public. That's important. Those concepts of cognitive warfare. The second one is psychological operations, PsyOps. US-led PsyOps, for example, many countries use them, but here US-led PsyOps involve informational products that are either identifiable as officially US-produced white products, according to them, ambiguously sourced gray products, or created to seem as if they originate from a hostile source, black products. It reminds me of these financial terms like in mergers and acquisition, white knight and black knight. And sadly, it's always, the use of these adjectives can also be questions, right? Of course. Are mostly used in a military domain. Cognitive warfare works mostly with gray products, as they say, which can be denied, and that it tends to target civilian social infrastructure and governments. Then we have as next one, another concept close to cognitive warfare is propaganda. It is the transmission of communications, information, and messages for the purpose of causing changes in the consciousness or subconsciousness of the target population. True. Why do we do that? To change attitudes and behaviors. I mentioned it a couple of times before. So cognitive warfare is subtler than propaganda because it allows us, or one, not us, me, those people who use it, to influence targets without them being aware of it, and to use these same targets as weapons to reach others. With cognitive warfare, everyone participates, mostly inadvertently, to information processing and knowledge formation in an unprecedented way. Cognitive warfare feeds on the techniques of disinformation and propaganda aimed at psychologically exhausting the receptors of information. Number 4 is cyber warfare. We hear about them again and again. Cyber warfare is described as the use of cyber attacks with the intention of causing harm to a nation's assets in our connected societies, especially with the Internet of Things. Many functions are digitally controlled, from construction equipment to financial institutions to civilian infrastructure and even to military installations. Another close concept to cognitive warfare is cyber psychology, which is the study of mental phenomena in relation to cyber systems and cyber contexts. It is therefore a field of research that could create knowledge that could be exploited as weapons for cognitive warfare, or on the other hand, conceive ways of protecting against it. And then we have military brain science as another close concept to cognitive warfare. Military brain science, MBS, is a cutting-edge, innovative science. So what is this? Based on the theories and technologies of medicine, biology, physics, and computer science, military science, and multiple other disciplines. It targets, or it aims to monitor, protect, and fight, repair, improve the brain. These are applications and tools that can be used for cognitive warfare, but remain focused on the military domain. These are some references, the references which are used for this cognitive warfare. I hope you enjoyed this. And if you wish, I'm going to continue this because we talk about different historical weapons. And then I thought it's also interesting to see that warfare is not only fought to sea, on the ground, or in the air or airspace, but also in our brains. And this is extremely important because when I teach intercultural management, I always say different cultures you need a majority of people in the culture or any country to agree with you, right? And in that level, you need to have a cohesion in the society. This cohesion is achieved by mass media and also social media. Of course, social media cannot be controlled the same way, but then, as we have seen, they try to influence it. And also education, the media, the mass media, social media, we talked about that. Um, Shared opinions in the society and the school system, um, movie industry, and even the role of movie industry. If you have a strong movie industry where and your movies are seen worldwide, the more power you have, of course. These are all these things which we can which we can discuss and is part of these new era of cognitive warfare. But again, as I said, in intercultural management, I also teach that. And so people know that cultures are not only the products of centuries of accumulation of knowledge, but is constantly changing and also being influenced, right? Thank you very much, and I wish you a nice day and see you soon.